11 years ago. I already did this intro 2 times. Hey, my name is Jobby, and Hiya Toys, you're just too good to be true. Because the Hiya Toys 1991 King Ghidorah and the Hiya Toys 1991 Godzilla are some of the best kaiju figures I've ever played with, which I did on my second channel, Jobby2, like, comment, subscribe. And the Buildables JobbytheHong is one of the best merch drops I've ever done. You do not want to miss this. Check out my build and chill stream, also on Jobby2, to see how much of a blast this is to build. Look at him, he's epic! Get your Buildables JobbytheHong today, link in the description. Pre-orders end October 12th. As for Hiya Toys, I hope this legendary run of Godzilla figures never ends. Holy moly, the Hiya Toys 1991 King Ghidorah is the best thing that Hiya Toys has ever done so far. And this design comes from the Heisei era Godzilla movie, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, which is one of my favorite Heisei movies next to Ghidorah. I really hope he gets a Hiya Toys figure one day. Notably, King Ghidorah is the first Toho kaiju that Hiya Toys has made a figure of, getting them out of their MonsterVerse comfort zone. And after today's figures, I want them to do everything Toho. But let's stop pre-glazing this guy and get right into shooting rope. What the fuck did I write? The painting and the sculpting on this figure is amazing. I love this King Ghidorah design, impressive and intimidating, and this figure faithfully recreates his on-screen appearance, very movie accurate. A little more than the SH Monster Arts version, which I don't have and never will. As for this figure's price, still a pretty penny, but trust me, it's well worth it. Totally unrelated, but don't take financial advice from drug addicts. Links in the description. There's virtually nothing to complain about in regards to this figure's appearance. He looks perfect. Look at how crisp and detailed the heads are. The eyes have a shinier finish that imbues the head sculpt with so much malicious life. And the colors of the eyes are so fiery and clean. Even the inside of the mouths look nice and wet. With an articulated tongue, of course.
Choppy, that's not what Heisei Ghidorah sounds like. They repurposed the roar from Rodan.
True, but that's how your mother sounds.
Fuck you.
These head sculpts alone are a major selling point, and all throughout the neck you can see that each scale is intricately sculpted and clearly defined. No sense of muddiness or mushiness here, and that clarity of detail extends throughout the entire body. God damn! I forgot about Ghidorah's big naturals. Matter of fact, I'm just realizing how thick he is. King Ghidorah? More like Queen Gat. Just cut it out. This beautiful scale pattern covers the whole figure, of course. From the legs, to the back, to the 2 extremely long tails, which you do not have to tediously attach out of the box. It's also why the box is so goddamn big. This figure is just the golden visual feast. And whatever metallic paint they used here is pretty durable as far as I can tell. No paint chipping so far. And come on, we gotta talk about the wings. Not only are they imposing and massive, the subtle texture of the skin flaps is truly something to behold in person. The detail is so precise, despite this whole membrane being a softer, flexible plastic. I've been recommending this since the Hiya Toys 2019 King Ghidorah, and the geniuses at Hiya actually pulled it off. Bendy wire wings! Oh yes. Sure, they also gave their MonsterVerse Rodan bendy wire wings, but Ghidorah's wings are on a whole nother level and a whole different scale. These things are huge and fully articulated, just like the rest of the figure. But before we get into his poseability, I suggest caution when handling him. Not because the joints are super loose, they're not, but those clearly defined scales that I love so much, they're also shit. Why does everything beautiful hurt me? I loved her. This guy is stupid sharp. Slide your finger the wrong way and you will get cut. But what's a few cuts when you get all this poseability? Each of the necks has a grand total of 11 ball-jointed segments, which allows them to look up that far, look down that far, and some crazy side to side. That would be the Kevin equivalent. Pops right back in. You could get some really nice curvy poses out of these necks. And that's not even mentioning every ball joint can be a swivel. Opening mouth. The posable tongues tend to get caught up in the roof of the mouth. Also, watch when you're handling the mouth, cause shit. At the wings, you get a hinge joint, rotation at the shoulder, and a bendy wire not only at the top of the wing, but at the mid portion as well. So you can get pretty nuts with these things. Ball joint at the big naturals, which allows for a slight crunch, and some side to side, which get weighed down by the wing, so that's kind of pointless. Every ball joint can be. Ball joint at the hips, allows for rotation, can't move back that far. He's got a decent spread, bend at the knee, ball joint at the lower leg, which does allow for a calf swivel. Combine that ball joint with the ball joint at the ankle, and that gives him a pretty good pivot. As for the tails, each of them have 16 ball jointed segments, which hold their position pretty damn well, and allow for some pretty intense curvy poses. Of course, every ball joint can be. While the posability on the body isn't the most dynamic, the articulation at the necks, the tails, and the wings more than make up for that. He would look even better if you could get him up in the air somehow, but I do not know what figure stand could hold up this massive amount of plastic. He's chunky, to say the least, and quite large too, if you couldn't tell by now. Size comparison time. Here's Figma-matic Economy Hiya Toys GVK Heat Ray Godzilla, the Magic Square Light of Peace Not Optimus Prime, my previous review, the Hiya Toys Shimo, and the Hiya Toys Monsterverse King Ghidorah. As cool as this guy was, he's a product of a different era of Hiya Toys. Cause holy fuck! The improvements that they've made in such a short amount of time have been a treat to see. I can't wait for their 2019 Ghidorah 2.0. Please consider bendy wire wings. Thank you. This mold is so good that I'll buy it 2 more times. I do not care. Needless to say, I love you, alien!
Jobby, technically that isn't an alien, but 3 genetically engineered kaiju from the future that were brought to the past to be mutated and merged by the hydrogen bomb test in 1954. And I'm just correcting the record on behalf of the US government, because if there's anything we don't like, it's misinformation.
Cool.
Hey, when's the next Transformers review?
Our next figure for today is the Hiya Toys 1991 Godzilla Hokkaido Battle version, which is better known as just the Heisei Godzilla. And this design, in my opinion, is the gold standard for every modern Godzilla design. When I think of the very concept of Godzilla, I think of this fierce cat-like face, that sweeping tail, and those insane proportions. That body of yours is absurd. It's not my personal favorite design, that would be Shin Godzilla, but it's a very important one. All of that is to say, Hiya Toys have a lot riding on this particular release. So how is their first attempt at a Godzilla that isn't from the Monsterverse? Well, I can say that their customer feedback is great. This is an alternate head made specifically due to potential customers roasting the initial pictures online, and it's definitely an improvement. I hope the same happens with their Kiryu Goji. So with that new head attached, I can happily say the painting and the sculpting on this figure is awesome. This is the Heisei Godzilla through and through. Hiya Toys did an excellent job at capturing his likeness. The proportions, the skin texture, and that head sculpt are as expressive and, dare I say, iconic as they should be. Even the eyes have a nice gleam that makes them feel alive. Although I don't remember him having black sclera, is that a thing? Leave a comment if you even know what sclera means. Child. Looks good either way. And these teeth are precisely painted, and back on the body, they even sculpted in those wrinkles and folds that are on the rubber suit. And his nails, both his toes and fingers, are nicely detailed and have a subtle shine. But despite these undeniably positive qualities, I can't quite say that this is the visual slam dunk that King Ghidorah or even Shimo was. I think what's gonna make or break this figure for a lot of people is the distractingly plasticky finish. He looks like a toy in a way that their previous releases avoided. The colors here are pretty basic with no gradients or highlights, except for the spines, which look great. But I think what this guy desperately needs at minimum is a flat finish. Other than that, I think this figure looks pretty dang good. But what is beyond good is how this figure feels. All the joints have this satisfying smoothness and solidity to them that makes this figure incredibly fun to pose. The neck is composed of 3 ball-jointed segments. Finally, Hiya Toys ditched their previous neck system, and that allows them to look up that far and down that far. Great side to side. Every ball joint can be hinge joint at the mouth, posable tongue, ball joint at the shoulders, which allow for a full rotation. Arm moves out. Every ball joint, bend at the elbow, ball joint at the wrist, which you can replace for these closed hands, ball joint at the waist. The spines do not get in the way. That gives you a crunch side to side and a waist swivel. Ball joint at the thunder thighs gives you a high kick. Can't move back that far. Actually, that's a full 360 rotation. He's got a damn good spread. Ball joint's also a thigh swivel. Bend at the knee. Very slight calf swivel, almost non-existent. Ball joint at the ankle, which allows for a great pivot. And now, the best point of articulation on this thing. The tail has a grand total of 23 ball-jointed segments, and the ball joints here have an incredible amount of durability, which gives you some insane curvy poses and can even act as a makeshift stand. What a testament to the build quality of this thing. Poseability here is amazing, with that tail giving any SH Monster Arts Godzilla a run for their stupid amount of money. The tail alone is a major selling point, and all the while playing with this guy, nothing feels like it's gonna pop off or twist off or fuck off. It is a shame about the lack of an atomic breath part, but that's what the heat ray version is for. You already know I got my order in. Size comparison time. Here's Madoka, Godzilla, Prime, my Bandai Heisei Godzillas, including the Kokyo Kyoku.
But Jobby, that's technically his son, not the Heisei Godzilla.
Whatever. The Hiya Toys 1991 King Ghidorah, they look so good together. And my other Hiya Toys Godzilla so far. This guy is a huge step in the right direction for Hiya Toys. Just keep the playability and poseability of this figure while returning to the visual quality of King Ghidorah and Shimo, and that'll guarantee that Hiya Toys will absolutely reign supreme as the king of the monster figures. Remember to pick up your buildables, JobbytheHong. Pre-orders end October 12th. And please, Hiya Toys, I beg you, secure the license to Shin Godzilla -1, and hell, even TriStar if you're horny enough. Whatever Godzilla hopes I had with Bandai are all on you now. Oh. Just take my money, motherfucker. Thanks for watching, and thanks to all my members and patrons for your continued support. All of you mid-tier members will scroll on screen while I shout out my high-tier members, starting with my leader class members. Cognaros, Jonathan Coco, I'm Done, Shade CLW, Funosaurus Rex, Digital Dev, Anything Gamer 3000, Depressed Tomioka, Victor Holiday, Izumi Miaumra, God of All Daleks, KB7623, Swagapotamus, The Sport 365, Squardzilla, Phoenix Logie, Nathalia, The Amazing Jack, Jesmark Mikesell, Benjamin Nguyen, Blissfully Tired, Ringo Blingus, The Crazy Minnesotan, Aaron Yeager, Drummer Boy 0130, Lulu, Super Duper Boy, Daggers Boy, Scarlet Scout 259, Arch Cyberknight Mikey, Boxhead, The Uncle Show, Mothman, Gay Emma, Puppy Nickel, Cam After Dark, Yeetus McBeatus 420, Kamui, Gooby, Breakaway TA, Joseph Leroy, Kana Candy, Saber Redfin, Melania Beleda McKella, Autism Guy, Astro B057, Arlie, formerly Luxana, Jonas RT, and Kamen Rider KFP. As for my Triple Kiss patrons, Ouija GB's Rigsenter, Shade CLW, That One Trans Girl, Zylax Zeo, the true Omnigod King of All, Kaiser Monarch, The Munch, Aaron Yeager, Kenneth Smith, Josh Suruda, Atom Boy, Petri Chroma, Not Owen Wilson, Melania Goddess of Rot, Ian, the Rukiri Savage, Jidori, Deathy Dash, A Small Cookie, BFast 2000, Cameron Pedley Liger 0Z9, Mama Munix, Brian Denna, Saiyan Joku 75, Jonathan Coco, Zach Carney, Delta Vortex, Mr. Jaxo, Fate, Boney's Network, Austin Sabatino, Tropic Panda, Tiger Boy, Z Naki Art Z, Smithy Killer, Tarn the Robot Layer, Gorgangus, Cam After Dark, Nozarashi Kenpachi, Cognaros, The Blue Pixeling Entertainment, Proxy Fox, Luxy Day, 12 Acres Sunshine, Scarlet Scout, Artist 101, Nathalia Munoz, Mighty Snack, Ken Rodman, The Gaming Demon, Striker374, Ming Yi Caesar, Dwight Wiley, Weed Horse Theo, and Michael McLaughlin. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching me for 11 goddamn years. Here's to 11 more? We now return to the Transformers.
Fuck yeah!